Marvel Studios cannot get out of their own way. The latest comes from Iman Vellani, the actress who plays Kamala Khan in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She claims her character will be the center of the upcoming Marvel Zombies animated film. Before we get into this, I please ask if you could hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. With that out of the way, let's get into this here. This article is up at thatparkplace.com. I wrote it earlier this morning. Headline reads, after the Marvel's box office failure and abysmal Disney Plus numbers, Marvel Studios doubles down on Miss Marvel will be, quote, center of Marvel Zombies series. So Marvel Studios continues to double down on characters that movie-going and streaming audiences have made abundantly clear they have no interest in. The latest revelation is that Iman Vellani's Kamala Khan will be the center of the upcoming animated series Marvel Zombies that will air on Disney Plus. Disney Plus announced Marvel Zombies would arrive on the platform back during Disney Plus Day in November 2021. They posted this to X. Marvel Zombies, an animated original series from Marvel Studios, coming soon to Disney Plus. So obviously that was over 2 years ago. One would assume it is supposed to come out sometime next year. Actress Iman Vellani, who is doing press for the Marvels and who plays Kamala Khan in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, recently revealed in an interview with Direct that her character will be the center of the series. She says, we've done the whole thing. It was amazing. It was so much fun. And I love there are a lot of cool characters in the Marvel Zombie show. And Kamala is kind of the center of the show. They described it to me. It's like she's basically the Frodo of the story. And I was like, that's amazing. So they're really trying to pump up this Kamala Khan Miss Marvel character that has been rejected time and time again by all kinds of different audiences, which we'll get to a little bit later. But let's continue with what Iman Vellani had to say here. She says, and I get to interact and meet all these people along her journey. And yes, they're only the voices, and I don't get to hear the voices in real time, but just in my fantasies, right? Like knowing Kamala is going to interact with some really cool people, even if it's just animation, is so special in a lot of ways. So obviously, she's going to be going on a journey, I guess, throughout this Marvel Zombies world and meeting a bunch of different Marvel characters, and she's excited for that. But as I said earlier, this character has been tried over and over and over again to be accepted by general audiences in a variety of different mediums, and they have made it abundantly clear they are not interested in this derivative character. Obviously, the most recent report is the box office failure of the Marvels. The film likely has around a $300 million production budget, but it has only grossed $77.9 million domestically and another 110.1 million internationally for a global gross of 188 million. The film needs to make at least 750 million. And I think that's on the conservative end. I've heard Valiant Renegades say upwards of 800 to 900 million in order to break even to cover the film's marketing costs, as well as the split that theaters take from the box office grosses. Theaters usually get about 50% of that box office gross. The rest goes back to the studio, which would be Marvel Studios or the Walt Disney Company. So on top of that Marvel's clear failure with her in a team up with Captain Marvel, Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, and Monica Rambeau, Teyonah Parris's Monica Rambeau, we have the Disney Plus series Miss Marvel. It also did terribly on Disney Plus. Samba TV reported the show's premiere was only viewed by 775,000 households in the United States. They claim it was a hit with Gen Z, but it's hard to really say that when you only have 775,000. I think you can really kind of say maybe it did better with people that were in that generation, but even then, you're still looking at a minority of Gen Z people watching the show. Pretty much no one did. Then we got this comparison here. They noted that it did almost just a little over half of what Hawkeye's premiere did. So this was the worst performing Disney Plus series from Marvel Studios on the entire Disney Plus platform. Clear rejection of the show and the character. So not only has Kamala Khan failed on the big screen and the small screen, but she's also failed in video games. The character was revealed to be the main character of Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics' Marvel's Avengers game at New York Comic Con back in 2019. You have the creative director and writer Sean Escaig. I'm not really sure how to say his name, but he said Kamala Khan is the defining ingredient that makes our game stand apart from any Avengers story you've experienced before. And then Crystal Dynamics community manager Megan Marie said, Kamala's unwavering loyalty to the Avengers, intelligence, inquisitive nature, and ever optimistic personality lead to a huge discovery when she uncovers a shocking conspiracy. As Kamala learns to harness and embrace her powers, she finds the will and the way to reassemble Earth's mightiest heroes. So it did not turn out well. Support for the game ended in September of this year. It came after Square Enix announced in the second quarter of fiscal year 2021 that they suffered a $48 million loss. Marvel's Avengers was their only major release at this time. So clearly, it did not turn a profit for the company. Square Enix president and representative director Yosuke Matsudo had also revealed during an earnings briefing the HD Games sub-segment posted an operating loss as initial sales of Marvel's Avengers were lower than we had expected and unable to completely offset the amortization of the game's development costs. So it indeed lost them money. Huge operating loss there. And then in the company's 2021 annual report, Masuda added that, quote, the new challenge that we tackled with Marvel's Avengers produced a disappointing outcome. So very clear that it did not turn out well in this for this video game. And if you follow comics, they rebooted this Miss Marvel character, I don't know, 4 or 5 times now, probably even more than that, because the sales can always continue to fall off a cliff after like the first 1 or 2 issues when speculators have left the market. So this character is not popular. General audiences have rejected it at the movie theaters. They've rejected it on the television screen. They've rejected it in video games. They've rejected it in comic books. I mean, across the board, every which medium you can think of, this character has been rejected. Yet they're going to still try and push this character. And this is abundantly clear that the identity politics initiatives at the Walt Disney Company are still going strong. Because I think it's abundantly clear that no one is interested in stories about this character, but they continue to try and push it. But those are just my opinions. Let me know what you think in the comments below.